Police make an arrest in connection with a deadly shooting in downtown Chico after tracking the suspect to another state and then the Bay Area. The man who started the destructive Thompson fire was sentenced today, 2 decades behind bars, while his attorney is already planning an appeal to that sentence. And freezing overnight temperatures prompt a warning from the CHP because of dangerous black ice.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
Chico police arrested a suspect in the deadly shooting New Year's Day in downtown Chico. Sean Allen Jr., right there, say that he was killed near Burgers and Brew. Police say Dante Murphy is the one who shot him near Burgers and Brew, then fled to Nevada after working with state and federal law enforcement and other local agencies to pursue 15 different warrants. Investigators say Murphy was finally located and arrested in Oakland today. He will now be transported to the Butte County Jail for arraignment in court in Butte County. Sentences were handed down today in 2 major cases in Butte County, including Michael Harrigan, the man accused of selling drugs at the Genesis Pallet Shelter. The man convicted of selling drugs at the Genesis Pallet Shelter. He's been sentenced to 1 year in county jail, 2 years under mandatory supervision. Police arrested Harrigan in December after seizing 5 grams of fentanyl, 8 grams of meth, heroin, and $50,000. Prosecutors say he sold drugs inside the shelter.
I believe the court saw the seriousness and kind of the lack of remorse by Mr. Harrigan, that this wasn't his problem, that he wasn't forcing anyone to take the drugs. I feel it should have been further, a heavier sentence to send a message that this type of activity has consequences and should have more severe consequences.
Ramsey says the Narcotics Task Force, the Butte Interagency Narcotics Task Force, will not add enhancement charges because they could not prove Harrigan's guilt in overdose deaths. He says the lighter sentence reflects Harrigan's lack of prior major offenses. And another high-profile sentencing today was delivered in the Thompson fire trial. We told you last month when Spencer Anderson was convicted of starting that fire, which burned more than 3,700 acres over the course of 6 days in July of 2024. Action News Now reporter Bea Barbosa was in the courtroom and shows us how Anderson was sentenced.
It was only by the extraordinary firefighting abilities of our local CAL FIRE that it was stopped before it jumped into the community up at Kelly Ridge, and then it would have been another paradise situation. We would have lost lives.
A year and a half after throwing a firework out of a car window on Cherokee Road, starting the Thompson fire, Spencer Anderson was sentenced to 20 years in state prison. But Anderson's defense attorney argued in court today that the sentence should be 5 years shorter.
The narrow issue today was whether it was in the interest of justice to give Mr. Anderson an extra 5 years of prison time, in spite of the fact the law says there's a whole bunch of reasons you're not supposed to do it.
Among those reasons outlined in state law, if the prior conviction was over 5 years ago. Pilgrim argued that because Anderson's conviction happened 5 years and 2 weeks ago, the judge should not add 5 years to his sentence. But Butte County District Attorney Mike Ramsey says those reasons should not apply in this case.
That would be one interpretation, but that's why we have appellate court decisions convince the judge not to strike some of the enhancements that were involved in this case.
In addition to the 2 decades that Anderson was sentenced to this morning, he will also have to pay more than $2.6 million in restitution.
That is something that he will have to pay on. He cannot bankrupt his way out of that, and that's just the minimum amount. There were other homeowners that were reserved restitution that we don't have the information from them as of yet. And I'm sure that'll go well over $3 million.
DA Ramsey says if Anderson cannot pay the restitution in full, half of all wages earned in prison will be taken from his commissary fund, which is money that prisoners can use to get extra snacks and other foods. But today's sentencing may not be the end of this case.
He will absolutely, I have a notice of appeal, in my briefcase for today.
In Oroville, Bea Barbosa, Action News Now.
If Anderson appeals the sentence of those additional 5 years because of a prior conviction, the case would be heard in the 3rd District Court of Appeals in Sacramento. New tonight, a family pleaded guilty to heroin trafficking conspiracy that spanned across Northern California, including in the Yuba Sutter region. Alberto Lopez, his wife Maria Silvas, and Alexa Ojeda de Oregel entered the plea after agents seized 21 pounds of heroin, nearly 3 kilograms of fentanyl, and about a half a kilogram of meth. They trafficked the drugs out of their Stockton home, and police say they had about $83,000 in cash from the sales. The 3 will be sentenced in the coming months and face up to life in prison. Here's what it looked like in Oroville today. The sun shining through some hazy skies with the wind. The breezes blowing those trees there, those leaves on the trees in January. That happens in California sometimes, Howie.
Doesn't remind me of Chicago or Buffalo this time of year for sure, Helen. And I agree with you, absolutely beautiful. And we had our first rain and since really January 5th yesterday. We didn't get washed out, but hey, we'll take every drop when you go on a 3-week hiatus from the showers. So Paradise, 0.37 inches, 0.35 inches in Redding. Chico, 0.31 inches, 0.27 inches in Red Bluff. Corning, 0.10 inches and 0.07 inches for Willows and Oroville. Temperature-wise, we're sitting at low to mid-50s in the valley. Not too bad. Mountains already in the 30s and 40s. Put that jacket on. Again, dense fog advisory in place from midnight until tomorrow afternoon. For noon, for the mid-valley, visibility is not bad at the moment. Winds right now, on the lighter side. That will help with the fog, and we'll talk more about that fog coming up in a few minutes, Alan.
Thanks, Howie. New at 6, a pickup truck flipped on its roof after driving on icy roads this morning in Susanville. The California Highway Patrol said that black ice is creating extremely slick conditions, and crews have already responded to multiple crashes across the Susanville area. The CHP says the driver in this crash is okay. They're urging drivers to slow down, increase the following distance, and allow extra time to stop. New now, the closed Newville Bridge near the Tehama-Glenn County line is getting a portable temporary bridge. Earlier this month, we told you when Tehama County supervisors moved forward by approving a temporary fix to the flood-damaged bridge by using $235,000 from its disaster reserve. Orland News now reports that a Bailey Bridge, a modular temporary bridge, will be installed over the damaged section. It will reopen the crossing to single-lane traffic with full legal load capacity, allowing fire engines and other heavy vehicles to pass. The bridge could reopen by late February or early March. New developments now. A woman who survived a head-on crash that killed 4 others on Highway 299 in Trinity County is speaking out about what happened. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield spoke with Juliana Jarvis, who now faces a long road to recovery.
Just minutes before going in for surgery on her left leg today, Juliana Jarvis spoke about her boyfriend Jake and other friends who were killed in that deadly car crash on Highway 299.
They were very outgoing people, and literally everybody loved them.
Jarvis has already had surgery on her finger, wrist, forearm, and hand. Still, she's looking forward to getting back to some sort of normalcy, like returning to her job at Raising Cane's.
I absolutely love it. Their food is amazing. I eat it all the time.
Jarvis's parents have been by her side at UC Davis Medical Center in Sacramento as she recovers from her injuries. Joining her is also her 6-month-old daughter.
She's right there. You could probably hear her in the background blowing bubbles.
Yeah, comforting you, obviously, in there.
Yeah.
While Juliana's spirits are as high as they can be given the situation, her grandpa Kerry says he feels guilty. The red Chevy Impala that Juliana's friends died in the wreck was bought by her grandpa just last week.
She said she wanted to die with her friends. Survivor's remorse. So she needs counseling. She's going to go through a lot. So it's a long, long road. And she'll be in a wheelchair for a long time. Her life has changed forever.
While Juliana is still trying to make sense of what happened, she's appreciative for everyone who's reached out and lent their support to her at this time.
It's making me really happy to see all these candle lightings and all this stuff that's gone on.
An online fundraiser has been set up to help Juliana and her family pay for her recovery. So far, it's raised nearly $9,000 for more than 140 donations. Reporting in Reading, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
The driver of the Jeep that the CHP says crossed the yellow line and caused the crash survived with serious injuries. Investigators said that they are looking into alcohol as a possible factor, and we're working to learn more about the condition of that driver and whether any criminal charges will be filed. The Shasta Trinity National Forest says someone vandalized the historic Hertz Mountain Lookout and the restroom there. The tower was originally built in 1937 and was repaired and restored by district recreation staff in 2020 and returned to service as a summertime recreation rental for the public to enjoy. The Forest Service says it plans to repair the facility and is asking anyone with information about the vandalism to call and report it. New tonight, it was a busy night for Chico police officers. They arrested 3 people suspected of stealing 2 cars. They say Ernest Yerby stole a car out of LA County, and he was arrested for that theft. Then, separately, 30 minutes later, they recovered another stolen car in Chico. Police say the 2 suspects in that case ditched the car and ran away, but they later tracked them down and arrested them, Madison Sells and Douglas Dotson Jr. All 3 are facing multiple charges. The numbers don't lie. Still ahead tonight, we'll show you the Haven Humane Society, how it's making a difference for both animals and people in Shasta County. And we'll show you how a Chico neighborhood is rallying against hate crimes in their community by focusing on love and support instead.